Good morning from Virginia. I'm in Virginia this morning. It is a nice, cool, crisp morning, and it smells so good here. It's so different from Tampa. I'm excited to be with you guys this morning. We have a special guest. Well, we have a special guest every show. What am I saying? But today we're going to be talking about something that is really a huge issue for most people right now that are trying to use social media to grow their influence and their audience. It's tough out there these days. Like you post something on Facebook and it's like crickets, right? Put your hand up if that's you. And I want to share, I brought a guest on that is going to share his story on how he's been using short videos, primarily on TikTok, but using and now repurposing them on other social platforms as well. And he has grown to ridiculous amounts of followers, like 250K in followers in 3 months. Do y'all feel like that's something you would like, right? To have a community of people that tune into your content consistently. So good morning again. Hey, Karen, good to see you guys. As you're coming in, just let me know, where are you in the world? I shared that I am in Virginia this morning. Hey, Ashley, good to see you. Those of you who tune in every week, you have probably heard me say this before, but my dad is 96, and so my sister and I have been taking turns taking care of him, so it is now my turn. So I'm going to be here in Virginia for a few months, so I'm excited. We got Milo from Spain. Hello, Mila, I hope I said that. Mila, not Milo, sorry. And we have, hey, Jennifer, Chicago in the house. All right, excellent. Well, couple of quick things before we bring in our special guest today. And Julianne from New York, I just want to say hey to everybody as you guys are coming in. Trinidad and Tobago, wow, welcome. I love that we have a worldwide audience, right? Donna, welcome. Alice, good to see you here. All right, so a couple of quick things. We do giveaways every week, and this week is no different. This week we're going to give away something we just created. So if a couple of things, if you've been tuning in the last few weeks to the show, you know we've been talking about short videos, and specifically, a lot of emphasis on Reels, Instagram Reels. But that's today. We're going to switch directions a little bit. We're going to talk more about TikTok. But I want to remind everybody to register for the free 4-part video training around this short form video content. So one, we're going to talk about it again today with somebody who's done it, who's built a community of 250,000 people in just 3 short months using short form content on TikTok. But my friend Ray Higdon, whom I'm on a massive learning journey to figure out how to do this myself, has some free training that he has offered up. And you can get it. It's totally free. There's no strings attached. You have to go to kimgross.com/1-minute video influencer. So don't forget to do that. So I got started on sharing the giveaway today, but I felt like I had to give you the background on this whole process. So I've been doing this, sharing this free training with everybody I possibly can. And then we did a 5-day Do It Messy challenge, Instagram Reel challenge. And so through that journey, my team created a Do It Messy slogan, and we created some t-shirts. So today we're going to give away one of the t-shirts. So I'm going to pull it up here so you guys can see it. So Do It Messy. It's kind of all like, scribbly, right? But the point is, stop being perfectionists, guys, and just get her done. Just do it messy. So we're going to be giving away one of the Do It Messy t-shirts today. And we're also going to be because we're talking short form video content, right? So we're going to be giving away 140 plus Instagram video Reels bundle. So you guys will have, there'll be one winner for that. So you'll be able to take advantage of that and get moving fast quick, and in a hurry with your content. All right, so how do you win? You win by dropping in your aha moments. So when you drop in your aha, well, let me explain what an aha moment is first. An aha moment is if you hear something and you're like, oh, I didn't know that, or oh, I knew that, but I needed to hear it again. So drop in those with a hashtag aha. I did my finger right this time. I'm getting it right. It's only taken me like 60 shows to get it right. But hey, if you'll just drop in your hashtag ahas, and we'll put you in the wheel to win. We'll draw at the end of today's show. So again, the two things that you have the opportunity to win is that Do It Messy t-shirt and the Instagram video reels templates. Okay, real quick before we bring in our special guest, I want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor. I've been using Restream for probably about 4 or 5 months now, and it's my go-to platform for live streaming to multiple social media channels at the same time. So right now we're live on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and multiple Facebook groups. They have a super easy to use interface for doing like cool transitions, bringing comments up on the screen, and customized text. Even if you want to, do a call to action, you can bring that up on the screen, and seamlessly bringing on guests. You can also brand your live shows with cool show overlays, logos, and even pulling custom graphics and videos. So this is the perfect platform for new and experienced creators alike. If you want to use your own branding, go live in multiple places, you will need a paid plan, but I have really great news for you guys. My friends over at Restream have given me the opportunity to give you a lifetime discount. Like, that is like incredible. Most of the time when you work with a brand, they give you a limited time discount, but you can get a lifetime discount if you sign up for an account. You can go to kimgarst.com/Restream and get 25% off. That is a steal of a deal. Go grab it for sure. All right. All right. So let me tell you guys about our special guest today. He's a young whippersnapper. I say that about anybody who's younger than me. But Paul is 31 years old. Oh, wait, he's not younger than me. I'm 29 and Holden. So, okay, right? But he's a 31-year-old husband and father with a passion for helping others do better in their health and finances. Paul specializes in helping others build a business via social media using firsthand experience. On TikTok, he's grown his audience from zero to 250,000 in just 3 short months, with 15 plus of his videos obtaining over 1 million views. So y'all put your hands together for Paul. Hey, Paul. Bringing you on in here. Let me get you in here real quick. Let me, hang on. I'll get the right one in. Sometimes I just don't hit the right. All right, here we go. Now, I hit the wrong button sometimes.
I do that every day.
Yes. I'm super excited. We had a few minutes to talk before we got started today, and we talked about some of like your family and all that kind of thing. So y'all, just give you a little summary of that. Paul's married, has 3 children, 2 boys and a little girl who's already tough as nails because she's got 2 older brothers. So she's got it going on. And I'm assuming you feature them in your TikTok content occasionally because you approach this. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They're the real talent.
So because I know a lot of people are trying to use social media to grow their business, who isn't? We all are, and attract the right people to us. I'm curious as to what did your social media journey look like, and how were you, what platforms were you using? Were you struggling before you started using short form content on TikTok?
Yeah. And so that's what's been really cool about my journey over the past few months with TikTok using short form videos is, before TikTok, and doing short form videos, I wasn't struggling, but I wasn't doing great, right? I was just doing okay. And I was applying everything I was learning, but I just wasn't gaining that much traction on platforms like Facebook or Instagram. I was doing okay, but I wasn't, say, like gaining 100, 250,000 followers in 3 months or anywhere even close to that. So whenever I was finally, I'll put it bluntly, convinced to do TikTok, because I was one of those that, would say, no, I'm too old for TikTok. I'm not going to do that. Right. That's for the young kids right now. But whenever my two brother-in-laws actually convinced me to try it out, I was like, okay, I'm going to start doing a couple videos a day. I'm just going to see where it goes. I didn't have any expectations for it, but I said, if I'm good at anything, I can focus on the process, right? And put the results, not even thinking about them, out of my mind. And what was so crazy about TikTok, what I didn't realize was just how simple it was to start doing. It didn't take a lot of time to do, and I was able to just do it daily. And before long, I started to grow an audience. I started to grow a following, just being myself, being relatable. And that's been my favorite part about it, is that I've been able to attract like-minded people exactly like me. And it hasn't taken that much time on a daily basis to do, because I'm super busy, being a dad, a business owner. I didn't have time to add a whole lot to my plate, but being able to find a platform that had, I think the best way I know how to describe it is the highest chance I know of for an average person to actually go viral, right? It has that virality that other platforms don't. You don't need 100,000 followers to start building an audience. As you were saying earlier, I love your sort of your hashtag for the do it messy thing that y'all have been doing. Just go out there, start creating some content, adding value, and you're going to start attracting the right people. And that's been the most exciting part for me.
Well, you are the epitome of doing it messy, because you just got started, right? And I love what you said about you had no expectations, that, just do it and see what happens, right? And I think a lot of times when we are approaching something new, we want to know, like that we're going to get a return. I've had so many conversations with people about the fact that, TikTok, to your point, is for the young people, right? Like, it's not for us. But the interesting part is the shift that's happening, where more and more people, again, it's always about value. How do you show up and relate to your person? And you said something else that I want to shout from the rooftops, because I say it all the time: relatable content. So share, I don't know if you've created content for today yet, but do you have an idea? Like, can you talk about, what does it look like on a daily basis for you? Do you just have an idea and you go for it and then you create the content? I want people to understand that well, I'm going to let you, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Tell us what an average idea and that execution would look like.
Yeah, so this is coming from someone, I'm not the most creative person in the world. I used to be a former accountant. I'm not bashing accountants, but we like systems, right? We like things to be duplicatable. We like simple. And so I don't think super outside of the box most of the time. And so that's one of the things I've loved about TikTok, is I'm able to find ideas by just kind of scrolling through, taking 20 minutes out of my day and just saying, okay, that'd be funny to do. How can I apply that to someone from my viewpoint, right? Because that's one of the things when I first got started, was asking myself, okay, number one, who do I want to attract? Number two, how can I add value to those people? And for me, I sort of divided it up into a few different categories. I said, I love talking about marriage, right? I love talking about parenting, because that's just my everyday life. I love adding value to people when it comes to health and wellness, when it comes to personal growth, and then I'm just a goofball by heart, right? That was sort of the fifth area. So taking advantage of trends and things like that I sort of see while scrolling, and just being goofy with it, because you can never take yourself too seriously. And so one thing I do when I'm sort of just have some downtime is I'll scroll through, and if I see a video I think is funny that I can relate to, I'll save it down. I'll hold my thumb down on it. I'll add it to my favorites, and I'll sort of just recreate it from my perspective, right? Whether it's as a husband, as a dad, adding a little bit of goofiness to it, or maybe it spurred an idea of, okay, how can I add value from a inspirational perspective or from a health and wellness perspective? And I'll sort of keep it around those categories, because those are the kinds of people that I'm looking to attract. And those are the ways that I like to add value the most, because I think it's very important that when you're creating content, you got to enjoy it, right? You got to be authentically you at the same time, or else people can see that, people can feel that, and they're gonna see, they're gonna see a little bit of fakeness to that. So it's very important to be authentically you. And so for me, that comes from those 5 key areas and sort of staying in my lane right there and taking advantage of different trends that are going on. And it keeps it fun for me, so it doesn't ever feel like something I have to do. And it keeps it simple to where I can go on and I can find an idea, create a video in maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and that's it.
Okay, are we twinsies? Like, seriously. I mean,
Probably.
like everything you just said, I'm like, yes, yes, it's amazing. Because that's the way I approach all my social media is I have what I call content buckets. So, different types of things, that types of content that I like to share, that some is just pure, like relatable, like to your point, humorous, or some is educational, some is inspirational or motivational, or whatever. But I'm like, yeah, he has got this right. I love it. Of course, that's just from my perspective. But okay, I know there's probably a story behind how you got started with TikTok. You had mentioned your brother-in-law's, but I'd like to hear that story if you don't mind sharing it.
Yeah, totally. So for the longest time, I sort of thought of TikTok as just like a dance platform for younger kids, right? I'm sure a lot of people can relate. And slowly, I think it was over quarantine, I downloaded it once and I sort of scrolled through a few videos. I'm like, all right, this is funny. And I kind of forgot about it. I deleted it off of my phone. This was probably March of last year, right? And then back in October, November, my brother-in-law's, my wife's brothers kept talking to me. They're like, Paul, you're kind of hilarious. Just because of your goofiness, I think you do really well on here. You need to try it, give it a shot. I'm like, all right, guys, I'll try it. I'll try it. And so I started just watching some videos like I do every day, right? And I started saying, I could do that, right? I can do a quick 7-10 second video about a real life husband-wife situation that's kind of funny, or add in my spin or my perspective on it. And I put out a couple videos, right? I thought, okay, how can I make this relatable? And they just started to gain traction, honestly, a lot faster than I thought they would. I think it was just in my second week of doing it, I had a video that got over 9 million views, which today is still my highest video. And I didn't see that coming out of anywhere. And so it made me think, all right, that's something a lot of people can relate to. So I kind of turned that into a series and started doing more of that. And then it just took off from there. I stayed consistent with it over the past few months. I focused on, as my videos were doing better, I focused on building a community over virality. And so I started to focus more on adding value, not just in my videos, but in the comments and going live and stuff like that. And things like that, because at the end of the day, I wanted to attract people that not just I could do business with, but that I could do life with at the same time, right? And so for me, that was very important to focus on not just that virality aspect of it, but building community at the same time. And so that's where I've developed a lot of amazing relationships that I didn't even expect to come from that. And it came from, at first, me saying, no, I'm not going to do this, to saying, fine, I'll dip my toe in, I'll do it. And then it surpassed all of my expectations and was something completely different than I would have thought.
I love it. So let me ask another like clarifying question, because we did this little 5-day challenge, and one of the challengers was getting discouraged at after 2 videos, and he's like, I'm not getting any views, and I'm like, I think a lot of people again want that immediate, this is going to go viral. I'm gonna have this is going to be the ticket. So when you first started, you said it took a couple of weeks there before you hit one, right? But you were doing one a day. And I've heard a lot of people, and I'm just curious about your opinion on this. Is it consistency that wins the day on TikTok?
Consistency and intentionality. Consistency is going to keep you in the game. Intentionality is going to help you win the game. And I was doing probably 2 to 3 videos a day when I first started. And I didn't take more than 30 or 45 minutes a day to create those videos. So that was very key. And I sort of just had to put the results out of my mind and say, you know what, even if it's 10 people, imagine me being in the same room as 10 people and me talking to those 10 people. And that helped put it into perspective, right? A lot of times we'll see those numbers of views on a video and it's 10 people, 100 people. And it doesn't seem that many whenever you see a lot of people getting millions or thousands of views on TikToks. But imagine you being in the same room with those people, and that gives you the ability to build a relationship or add value to those people and make a difference in their life. It puts a whole different perspective on it. So I tried to sort of think of it like that while I was focusing on that consistency and intentionality, like you just touched on, because at the end of the day, if you take those numbers out of it, if you think about it, like each of those numbers is a real person, right? Each of those numbers is a real person that is taking value from this video. It makes it so much bigger than you could even really think. So then when you get those, when you do start to grow and you get those videos with larger numbers, it keeps you humble at the same time so that you're able to keep focusing on how can I add value to these people.
Oh gosh, can we just like do a mic drop right there? Seriously, dude, that was incredible. And you're speaking my jam. I'm seriously like, what are we twinsies? Like, I have to ask it again. You know, when it comes to understanding that there are real people on the other side of the computer screens, there are real people on the other side of those numbers. And when we wake up every day and we create content, does it matter if it's 1 million people? Can we like, or does it matter if it's 10? Like, you know, going back to your point, it could be one a day, like seriously. And you don't need millions of people. You just need the right people, and you need to have a servant-based heart to show up every day. So going back to the wrapping that up into what you just said, which is, you know, wake up every day with a servant-based heart. You know, how can you make a difference today? And consistently and with intention. I love those two words. Man, you're so awesome. I love this. So I wanted to share a comment that we just got a moment ago. Alice was saying this is a great live. So yeah, you guys, this is amazing. Now, we've talked about a little bit about your content strategy. You know, you have your buckets and things. That's what I call them. But when it comes to what you do daily, are you still doing one video a day, or do you do multiple videos a day? And I know you said it doesn't take you a lot of time to create that content. So I'm just curious, like, what does that look like from breaking it down to, I'll let you, I asked about 3 questions there. So I guess the point is, when you are creating your daily content, is it 1 or more videos? And then, you know, what does the timeline look like for that?
Yeah. So first thing I do is at the beginning of the week, I like to have a plan for what I'm going to do. So Monday mornings, what I typically do is I'll go through my favorite videos and I say, okay, if I want to post 10 to 14 videos this week. So some days it's going to be 1, some days it may be 2. If I want to post 10 to 14 videos, what kind of videos do I want to post? So I go down to the videos that I've saved right in my buckets, and I say, all right, if I want 2 or 3 videos that are going to be more inspirational, personal development, here's what I'm sort of thinking this week for that. A lot of that comes from what I'm reading, right? What I'm putting into my mind. And then I ask, okay, well, what are some marriage / parenting things that would be kind of funny, kind of relatable that I've saved down in my favorites on TikTok, and that makes up a majority of the videos that I do. So probably 2/3 of the videos that I do. And then I say, okay, well, from the health and wellness perspective, I'll sprinkle in a couple posts where I'm bragging on some people and getting them and how they've been able to achieve some results to inspire some people, adding value, teaching people a couple things from a couple videos. And then I'll plan them out and I'll just say, all right, on Monday, I'm going to do this video, Tuesday, this video, Wednesday, this video. And some days I do have more time to where I can create quite a few videos and then just have them ready for the rest of the week. Some weeks are super crazy to where I can't do that. And so that's what I like to do on Mondays, because it helps me be intentional with each and every video that I do versus not having a game plan, not having a plan of action. And it helps me with my time as well, so that I can stay focused instead of just mindlessly scrolling, getting caught up like a lot of people do on TikTok. So it starts on Monday, and then the rest of the week, I sort of have an idea of what I'm going to do. So if I only have 20 minutes to do a video or 2 that day, I'm going to do that. Another thing that I've really liked doing is while I'm posting those videos, this is a quick tip for people who are able to, I think you have to have 1,000 followers on TikTok to be able to go live. But after I post that video, a lot of times I'll go live because that actually helps the algorithm to push your video to more new people. And so on my lives, I like to do more topical lives where I'm adding value to people as well, or just interacting and hanging out with people too. And so I'll spend maybe 15 minutes doing that after I post a video a few days a week, going live, focusing on building that community. And that's really what it looks like, right? Planning out my week, recording the videos, fitting those into the gaps when I can, right? And then going live, focusing on adding value to people to where it doesn't take that much time, but it's able to, I'm able to do it each and every week and stay consistent with that to where it's never something that's completely overwhelming for me. And it always is fun at the same time.
Oh, so good. So good. So I'm assuming that the majority of your time spent on TikTok is probably engaging with people. Do you have a system for that? Like, do you, I know most of the time I always liken this back to my early days in TikTok, and it was so, I'm not TikTok, Twitter. Twitter, like who does Twitter? Anyway, what does your system look like for engagement? Or do you look for certain things? I'm just curious as to what that looks like for you.
Yeah, so a lot of times it's just going through as I see people commenting on videos, just making sure I reply to most of those comments, loving on people. It doesn't have to be something super complicated. If someone responds with, some emojis laughing at the video, you can just send a couple emojis back. Or if someone asks questions, just reply to their comment. And so not only is that going to help you, make an impact on that person's life, but it's going to help drive that video even further in the algorithm because it's going to show TikTok that people are interacting with those videos. And the more people you actually respond to in those comments, your videos are going to show up on their feed more and more times because it's going to tell TikTok you're interacting with this person, you want to see more of their stuff. And so it helps in a couple different ways, but it also allows you to sort of just stay intentional of relating to people and responding to people and building that community. And so I don't really have a specific system, but if I get,
well, you do.
I'll respond to some comments.
I mean, I think that's the thing is you actually do have a system. You may not think of it in the system like you're used to, but you actually do. I think that's been one of the things that it gets overwhelming when you get a community that really is so large that to make sure that you engage with each and every person. But when you're first starting out, it's super important to really love people up and let them know that you see them and hear them and, engage with them. So I know we have a couple of questions that I want to get to in just a moment, but I think I'd like to get this it's always the elephant in the room. And I think a lot of people, when they think about TikTok or even Instagram Reels, the short form content, because they've seen it even Snapchat, not as much Snapchat, definitely TikTok and Reels, where everybody thinks you have to dance in order to get virality. I don't mean, yes, I said the right words, not virility, virality. Anyway, so do you have any videos that are you out there shaking your booty?
I have zero rhythm. It was one of the, so short story, when me and my wife when we were dating, we'd go down to this lake during the summer with her family. And every single weekend night, they had line dances down by the lake during the summer. And so those line dances, I've got zero rhythm. I've got a terrible memory when it comes to remembering those kinds of stuff. I would spend hours trying to learn the simplest little line dance, right? And when I did it, they would make fun of me because they would say I would look all robotic doing it and I would just look all awkward. So I cannot dance. But I'm also very good at, I don't take myself super seriously. And so I have a couple videos sort of just making fun of the fact that I can't dance. But if it's like a dancing trend, I don't ever really hop on those, right? You won't ever see me. Maybe see me move my shoulders a little bit to something, or point to some words popping up in the air, but I'm not going to be memorizing a crazy dance or doing anything like that. And I think that's one of the things I love about TikTok so much is that there are so many different types of short form video creators on TikTok. There are people that are more educational based. There are people that are very inspirational. There are people that are goofy. There are everywhere in between, right? And so everybody has a different perspective that they can bring to it. And as long as you're authentically you, don't try and be someone else. Just add value where you can from your perspective about things that excite you. You are going to attract the right people.
Yes, yes. And that's true, by the way, anywhere on social, y'all. I'm just saying. If you can show up and be yourself. So has a really great question. I'm just, I'll actually, instead of putting it on the screen, because it's a long one, I'll just read it out. But she says, Paul, I'm making reels on Instagram, not on TikTok yet. And I'm using specific hashtags, and the reels are about what my target woman needs and her concerns. And I'm still not getting the right people to follow me. I get a lot of guys and bots and creepers. Any suggestions?
That is a great question. I had a friend who ran into this exact same issue. And for her, she just had to take a second look at the video she was creating and say, okay, what are the videos that I like to watch, right? What are the videos that I'm scrolling that I'll like, or the people that I follow, if I want to attract people that are similar to me, not necessarily guys that are liking my videos that may be creepers. Am I doing too many dances that may attract that type of stuff, or whatever it may be? What do I like? And look at those people that you learn from and start to duplicate what they are being successful with, right? You can always get down to the nitty gritty and say, okay, am I using too large a hashtags, things like that? But I think at the end of the day, a lot of times it's going to come down to the content. And don't be afraid to switch things up, right? If something's not working, if you're not attracting the specific demographic that you want to attract, switch things up. Try something a little bit different, right? And who knows, it might be what sticks. I've tried so many different things, and not everything sticks, right? It just goes back to the videos that I put out, focusing on being consistent. There are videos that get very little views. There are videos that do okay. Then there are the random video that I don't feel like I even put any effort to, and that's the one that blows up. And so you never know what's going to stick to somebody, what's going to relate to somebody. So don't be afraid to try something different, and then look at people who you look up to, who are in a position that you want to be in, and learn from them, duplicate what the other successful people do.
So you just basically just said something that I like am super passionate about, is that for a lot of us, not everybody, this is not true for everybody, but for a lot of us as entrepreneurs, our person is a previous version of ourselves, and we forget that. Okay. So what I do is exactly what you do. So I'll share a little bit of my strategy, and this is true for absolutely anything. It's true for if I need an email subject line. It's true if I'm trying to put out a blog post. It's true for literally everything in my business. Would I want that? I always quantify it like that. And if something catches my interest, just like you do on TikTok, if something catches your interest, you save it, and then you try to recreate flavor, right? Mm-hmm. So I want you to think about it in that from that perspective, because that's exactly what I do too. Like all my viral content that I've created over the years, that's not my original idea. Like I'm not like a creative genius. I just watch and see what other people have done and does it resonate with me? If it resonates with me, more than likely it's going to resonate with my person. And that has served me very well. And that would be just something I would add to what you said. Because I think that's a key for us. We forget sometimes, there is no stupid question. If somebody doesn't, once we get to a place where we know things, we forget that we didn't know it once upon a time, So we had a question about going live on TikTok. I'm assuming I know the answer, but I just want everybody, I think, well, I won't say I know the answer, gosh, because I'm always learning. But you can't go live on other platforms. You can only go live on TikTok, correct?
Correct. Yeah. If you're going live on TikTok, it's strictly on TikTok. And one of the requirements to go live on TikTok is that you need to have at least 1,000 followers. Once you have 1,000 followers on TikTok, that feature will become available to you. And just like you go to hit the button to post a video, you're just gonna hit that same button and just swipe left, and then the live feature will be right there. So it's super, super easy to use. But at the same time, it's not like I don't go live on Facebook and I don't go live on Instagram as well. For me, I've chosen to focus more on TikTok and that short form video content because that's where I'm gaining traction, and that's where I'm seeing the results right now. And so for me, that is where I'm putting a lot of my time because that's where I see the most value.
Yeah, so good. So do you think that any type of business can have success on TikTok?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Whether you're selling a specific product, whether you are a service-based business, whatever it may be, if you're adding value to someone, there's going to be a market out there on TikTok for it. So any type of business, no matter what you are doing, no matter how you are serving people, you can go out there and you can be successful using short-form video content for sure.
So can you share like some of the strangest like business niches you might have seen that are just like blowing it up? Like I'll just give you a quick example of something I think is weird. Is service. When I think of service-based entrepreneurs, I'm thinking about it usually in the light of my experience. Like, okay, well they're doing Facebook ads or they're doing whatever, but there's a lot of I call them brick and mortar service-based businesses like doctors and dentists are just like blowing it up on TikTok, right?
Yeah, there's one person I follow. He's actually a chiropractor, but his spin on things is that he really likes rather than just going there and popping someone's back, he really likes active healing and active recovery. And so people tag him in all these videos. He's gone viral a bunch of times to get his reaction on things because he's found something that he's very passionate about, and that's choosing ways to heal your body that are just a lot more active. And so he's calling out different chiropractors. He creates a little bit of controversy with it too, which is some people's strategy. That's not something that I do, but that is some people's strategy. And then he'll go and he'll add value to those people. But he teaches things in a way that are very easy for things to grasp. And so he likes to bust a lot of myths and things like that. That a lot of people think are true about like the chiropractic profession and things like that. And so he's got a very interesting way that he's built it. And so there are a lot of brick and mortar businesses, like you said as well, whether it's just like a local ice cream shop or a movie theater or something like that, that are doing very well because they're getting creative with it, right? They focus on showing, okay, what is the experience that someone has whenever they do come to our business. And they're doing really well with building a TikTok following, which is then obviously affecting how they're able to grow in that local market.
Yeah, so good, so good. So curious as to, based on your experience, and I know everybody's relatively new to TikTok, right? It's not like it's been around forever and a day, like Facebook, for example. But what are some like growth strategies that you have seen to work? I'm just curious. You talked about going live on TikTok after you post something, but do you have any other like strategies that you use that you work or it worked for you?
Absolutely. Hopping on trends is a big one. So a good rule of thumb, if you're swiping through your feed on TikTok and you see the same sound or the same music on a video being used a lot of times, or you see the same type of videos, odds are that's what's called a trend. And that means the algorithm of TikTok is actually pushing those videos out. And so if you can save down a couple of those ideas and in the next few hours or in the next day, recreate that video using the same trend, the algorithm is going to push that out to more people. So hopping on trends is a big one. And you can just, instead of doing what everybody else does with the trends, you can add your spin on it. So for me, if I can do it from the perspective of a husband and a dad or whatever it may be, that's going to make me stand apart from the other people that are doing the trend as well. So trends are very big as well. Also, sort of looking. You can sort of get caught up in the weeds here a little bit. And so I don't want you to do this if you tend to get caught up in the weeds, but looking at your analytics, seeing when the most people see your videos, and TikTok makes it very easy to go look at that information, you can see when the best times to post are. And so if you are posting twice a day, maybe just pick your top 2 times and spread it out between maybe 3 or 4 hours. You usually don't want to post closer than 3 hours apart because the algorithm has a tough time pushing both of those videos at the same time to new people. It'll show it to your followers, but if you're looking to grow an audience, you do want to spread it out a little bit. So knowing when your audience is online and when they're able to start viewing so you can get an immediate push from the algorithm is a big deal, because I'm not sure if y'all know this or not, but the TikTok algorithm, it mainly takes into account watch time. Okay, so it does take into account engagement and shares and things like that, but essentially what happens when you post is that it's going to take your video and share it to a small bucket of people. It doesn't matter if you have 1 million followers or 2 followers. It's going to show it to a small bucket of people. If it performs well with those people over a couple hours, it's then going to introduce it to a larger bucket of people. If it does well with those people and it has a high watch time, high average watch time, or if people are watching it multiple times and engaging, it's then going to show it to a bigger bucket, and then a bigger bucket if it keeps doing well. So the longer you can keep people watching your videos, or maybe add in something at the end that will cause them to re-watch it, it's going to help boost your video in the algorithm so that it gets more eyeballs in it and you have a better chance at connecting with your target audience.
I'm so glad you brought this up because it wasn't one of my questions, and it's so stinking important. What is so powerful about TikTok, in my opinion, and even Reels, is the ability to have a touch point or be seen by people that are not your followers. Okay, you guys. So I want to lean in because you need to hear this. You know, if you are just starting out, like we all do, sometimes I think you forget that we all start with 0 when we start, you know. But if you're just starting, like on Facebook, for example, nobody's going to see your content unless they're following you. Like if you have a business page and they're not fans on your page, well, 1, they're not going to see your content, they're not a fan, and 2, they're not going to see your content because Facebook's not showing it to anybody. But still, the point of it is that I really want you guys to hear this, is TikTok has probably, in my opinion, the smartest algorithm for the end user experience. So it's purely based on, you know, how people are engaging with your content, which means that, you know, if 50 people are looking at your content and 30 of them are, you know, watch it, then TikTok's going to say, oh, look, this content has got some juice to it, so let's show it to some more people and more people and more people. So you have an opportunity to have a touch point with cold people who don't have a clue who you are. And so that levels the playing ground for absolutely all of us. So I'm so glad you brought that up. So what are some things that you would suggest that we don't do? There's always the just get her done, but what are some, like, please don't do that? Like, you got any tips that, you know, you've seen people do and it just, like, that's not cool?
Yeah. The biggest thing is, because this stops most people from even getting started, to be honest. And that's, don't fall into paralysis by analysis. Do it messy, as you say. Don't take 20 different takes of the same video and try to get it perfect. At the end of the day, it's more important to put that content out there. You don't have to have the perfect lighting. You don't have to be perfect with your words or your timing. If you're adding a piece of music into it, whatever it may be, just put it out there. And over time, you're gonna get better. You're gonna learn what works. Another thing that I would say is, how would I phrase this best? Focus on adding value more than you do getting sales. So it's great to have calls for action in the end of your videos. But one thing that I've seen from TikTok is that if you do it too many times, it'll kind of turn off your audience. So to have a call for action is great, but maybe put that as in a video where it's just appearing every few videos. And then in the videos in between, focus on adding value. And then when you do have that call for action or call to action, you're going to have more people interested in doing what you say to do. So that's one thing that I would definitely recommend, is don't overuse a call to action, but definitely have it every so often.
Mhm. Yeah, so for those that are so business focused that they forget that people buy from people they know, like, and trust. So you've got
Yes.
to have what I call a spread of content. You know, yeah, there's this old 80-20 rule, like, right, where 80% of your content should just be, you know, I call it chum. You know, you're putting, uh, you know, stuff out into the water and you're trying to attract people to you, and then you have some business content woven in. So it's kind of that concept, I guess, with the calls to action, is don't make it all about you. It's all about them and they know it. So I'm curious. I meant to ask this a moment ago, and I want to back up for a second. You talked about trends and using trends. Is there a place to find the trends? Like, I know you talked about just going through the feed, and that's what I do. But like, is there some place you can go and find trends on TikTok?
You can use the search feature, so that little magnifying glass down there, and you can look at what's called the Discover page. The issue with that is that usually when it hits the Discover page, the trends have already run its course. So what I would encourage doing is searching maybe keywords like trend warnings or trends, and you can actually find people on TikTok, and this is how they add value. They alert people and track all this stuff as to what trends are actually about to be popular. And so I follow a few of those key people. And if you just search for that, you can find people that you enjoy following and then find trends that you relate to, because whenever one does come up, you're number one going to see it come up on your newsfeed. But if you're following those people, they're also going to alert you through their videos as to what trends are currently taking off or about to take off. And so that's one thing I've loved about TikTok is when I started, I had no knowledge of it, but I was able to go out there and find information and follow people that added value to me so that I was able to learn while I was creating at the same time.
Mm. Yeah, and that's why I think it's so important for us to do this stuff messy. Learn enough to, you know, and you learn by doing. I know for myself, even when we were putting this challenge together, it was, you know, what's some good ideas, and I would just try to find some good ideas and share the ideas out, and make it easy for people to do. This content is so it's fascinating to me that one that short form content is where it's at right now. I mean, the end user is voting, you guys. So I hope you heard me say that the all our community, our prospective community, they are voting, by paying attention to short form content. It is where it's at. So we either step into it. We can choose our poison. It can be TikTok. It can be Reels. It can be YouTube Shorts. It can be whatever combination of all. Honestly, but we have got to adjust, I think, to this shorter form of content. So I know Paul, I know you've got 250,000 followers in a very short window of time. I'm curious, are you starting to see exponential growth? And then what are some goals that you have for yourself in the near future?
Yeah, so it's been very interesting to see how it works, because with the TikTok algorithm, things tend to happen in spurts. You'll have a lot of growth, and then it'll sort of level off, have a lot of growth, level off. So right now, I'm currently in sort of a level off phase from that growth. And when that happens, I like to focus on just nurturing the community that I have. So going live more, loving on people more, building those relationships so that when I do hit another growth spurt, those are the people that are going to be interacting the most with my videos. And that's one thing I sort of happened on by accident when I first got started, because I always knew it was very important to add value to people and to build those relationships with people. So even when my videos weren't doing well right off the bat, what I became very good at, what we talked about earlier, was replying to people's comments, adding value to people. In that way, building those relationships. Maybe it's having some conversations with people in your DMs if they have questions or whatever it may be, so that whenever the time comes and for whatever reason the algorithm does decides to start pushing your videos, those are the people that are watching your videos right off the bat. And because they're interacting with you more, because they're watching your video more, because they know, like, and trust you, that's going to then push it even further in the algorithm. So with TikTok, it is pretty cool to see. You have sort of those growth stages, and then you have what I like to say, those like community building stages, where you sort of are forced to take a step back and develop those relationships with people and add value to those people versus just focusing on the content. And it keeps you humble at the same time, because Some people do experience that very fast growth where they do go and they get 1 million followers in less than a year or whatever it may be, something crazy, right? But then for most people, you got to stay consistent, because there are going to be days where you're like, man, I thought this video was amazing. It didn't do well. Okay, let me take a step back and ask myself, why didn't people necessarily connect with this video? Was it because the people couldn't connect with it? They couldn't relate to it? Or maybe just something was a little wonky with the algorithm that day. But what is something that I can control? Because I can't control how the algorithm pushes out my video, right? I can control the quality of content I put out, how consistent I am, but I cannot control how many people see my videos. What I can control is making sure that I'm adding value to people in every single way that I can, and staying consistent and intentional with it, no matter which phase I'm in.
So I just had an aha moment myself. So I was going to share it with everybody. You know, if, and this is just personal experience too, if somebody, you know, hits a, we call them a win, right? Where you put out a piece of content, you get 1 million followers. Well, in my opinion, that's almost worthless. And I'll tell you why. Because there's no connection to you personally. Okay. So you've put a piece of content out there and it resonated, right? But your system for, you know, having growth, nurturing them, you are going to have people stick. It's sticky, a sticky community. You know, people who have one-hit wonders do not have a sticky community. So you're building a true community with the way that you are, again, going back and loving up people, talking with people, encouraging them, whatever it is, the value proposition that you bring to people and why they continue to consume your content. That's what makes community, not a one-hit wonder, y'all. So, you know, it's really not about how many, you know, it's not about the masses. It's about the one, and the one, you know, if you can think about impacting one person each and every day, you'll build a community of people who are super sticky, you know, that will tune into your content religiously because you've brought value to them, you've mattered to them. And so I think that's just super, super important to think about in that context. All right, I'm going to wrap up real quick, but I want to, I know we're going to be pulling in our winners here in a moment, but one of the things we talked about before we got started today was something you're super passionate about, and I was intrigued by. So I'd like to give you an opportunity to share a little bit around this, which is nutrition-based. So we're shifting gears just a little bit, but your passion is around nutrition, or nutrition-based vitamins that are based around our DNA. Did I say that correctly? I'm just super, and that's one of the things that you share on TikTok. So again, that's his core, that's his business, and that's something, if you think about it in the context of all the types of content that we've talked about that he creates, that's one of them, and that drives revenue for your business. But can you share a little bit about what types of content that you would create that would drive attention to that, you know, the nutrition-based products that your company sells?
Yeah, definitely. And so for me, it always goes back to my personal story, to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, that's something that people are going to connect with. And for me, I like to think back at the reason why I chose to do what I currently do, why I chose to try their products right off the bat. And for me and my wife, we had reached a point where we just weren't confident in the way that we looked. We were tired all the time. We weren't the parents or the husband and the wife that we wanted to be. We were tired of parenting from the couch. And so we started searching for answers. And I'd sort of always wondered why, say, like, two people could do the same workout and get completely different results, or why I could be a little bit more lenient in my diet, but my wife eat a grain of rice and gain 10 pounds. And so when I started to learn a little bit more about the fact that we are all created different, about the fact that our bodies need different things, it made perfect sense. I was like, why are we taking the exact same vitamins, the exact same supplements, the exact same diet when we are two completely different people? And so when I chose to get started on those products, on with this business, that was something that was that helped me overcome a lot of things when it came to my confidence, when it came to my health, to help me start feeling better. And so I love to share stories of people who I help get wins for in their lives, or who the products help be better dads, better moms, better business people because they have more energy, because they have more confidence, because they have better health. And so sharing wins is my favorite way of doing that. Another way that I like to do it is just create a short video where I'm giving people maybe 2 or 3 tips on how to get the results that they want, adding value that way and creating curiosity. I'm big on curiosity posts, curiosity videos, and attraction marketing. And so then when I get into a conversation with someone, I'm able to know exactly how I can help them and how I can make an impact on their life. But I love sharing stories of people because that is something that people can relate to, and that is what inspires other people to be able to go and get similar wins in their lives. Because whenever you see someone get a result, you say, okay, if they can do it, why can't I? And so that's the same thing that I said whenever I was first started getting those results. And that's something, a similar factor I've seen to people who are successful, whether it's in their health or in their business with what I do, is that they see people and they go, you know what, if they can do it, why can't I? And so I love inspiring others and then getting into people's lives and helping them that way.
I love that. I love it. I love it. So I want to share real quick our winners. So I got a little, I hate when my camera goes all fuzzy. There. Shoo. So winner of the Do It Messy t-shirt. Everybody needs one of these. I'm serious. You need it. If you want one and you didn't win today, just go to kim.store. You can find them there. But Alice is today's winner. And for the Do It Messy as t-shirt. And then our other winner is Michelle. Broad is today's winner of the Instagram Video Reels Bundle, which is going to be perfect for getting off to a fast start if you want to leverage the power of Instagram Reels. And I want to remind everybody to do the 4-part video series. Don't miss out on that. So it's kimgirls.com/1-minute video influencer. I hope that you guys have gotten a ton of value. Now, more importantly, this is important. So get a piece of paper, whatever you have to do right now. So can you tell us how everybody can find you, connect with you, where your TikTok is, wherever you want people to connect with you? How can they reach out and say, hey?
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of simple. So you can either follow me on TikTok at Paul_Gulley or on Instagram at same thing, just my first name _ my last name. So if you want to shoot me a message and just let me know that this added value today, I would love that, because I know I just love getting to meet people from all over and knowing that, you know, what I'm doing each day is adding value. In that way we can meet each other, we can start building a relationship, and it'd be super cool to just get to meet you. So either way, TikTok at Paul_Gulley or Instagram at Paul_Gulley. Either one is great.
Awesome, awesome. So I want to just wind up with one comment that I saw go by, and I forgot who said it, so I apologize for that. But someone said, Paul, you need to be on stages because you are so good. So I just wanted to, and I agree wholeheartedly. I have been super impressed with all the value you brought to us today. Like I say, I'm like, we are twinsies. Like, you're speaking my language, dude. I am like so excited that we had an opportunity to connect and have you on the show. And Karen, we'll make sure we get all the spellings and all. Yep, Ron has already dropped it in for you guys, so I'll pull it up here on the screen so that you can see it. So it's Paul on Instagram or TikTok at Paul_Gulley, Gulley. Okay. All right. So everybody, thanks for hanging out with us today. Me in here, always appreciative of your time, and know that it's value-based. So anytime you spend some with us, we do absolutely appreciate you. So take care of yourselves, stay safe, and God bless.